Good morning. Welcome to All Faiths Unitarian Congregation. I'm Regina Kilmartin, and I will be leading your service today on this start of Beltane. We're going to be talking a lot about that today, celebrating Beltane. I'm glad to see that you're all here. We're happy to have you here. My name is Regina Kilmartin, and I will be leading the service. At All Faiths, you will find a diverse and inclusive spiritual community where we welcome people with many beliefs. Here, you will find a diverse and inclusive spiritual community where we welcome people with many beliefs. I read the wrong line twice. You can bring your whole self, your full identity, your questioning mind, and your expansive heart. Here at All Faiths, we have more than one way of experiencing the world and understanding the sacred. So no matter who you are, where you are on your spiritual journey, whomever you love, you are truly welcome here. Is there anyone visiting for the first or second time, maybe? Welcome. Welcome. We're glad you're here. We love to have visitors here. If you would like to know more about All Faiths, there will be somebody standing in the back corner, our welcome corner, after the service, and you can get more information about us from Rosalie Kuhn. She's here somewhere, and she'll be standing in the back to help anybody with questions. I do have a few announcements. The schedule of events is on the back of your order of service, but I just wanted to mention a couple of things. We have an Epicurious dinner group that meets once a month, and it's strictly social. No talking church, no talking All Faiths, no talking anything, just strictly social. That's usually towards the end of the month. So in May, it will be on May 25th. Please sign up on the bulletin board, because if not enough people sign up, it gets canceled, and then everybody says, why was it canceled? Well, because you didn't sign up and we didn't know there were enough people. The bulletin board is your friend. Always go there and see what's up there, and always sign your name to something. There's always something there to sign your name to. For example, on May 11th, we are having our deep clean. We do this twice a year. Everybody comes. There's a job for everyone. It doesn't matter your physical capacity, your mental capacity. We will find something for you to help clean. So there is also a sign-up sheet on the bulletin board for that. So please sign up for that. And we host a monthly potluck just for All Faiths people, so that the more mature people get to meet the younger people, and new people get to meet the old people, and it's just another fun event. And we usually play games, playing card bingo or trivia or something, and that's going to be on May 9th this month. We moved it up a little closer to the front of the month, so hopefully it won't interfere with the Epicurious dinner group. But the rest of your announcements are on the back of your order of service. Carlos?
And greetings, I'm Carlos Garcia, your music minister. When using the teal hymnal as you have, please refer to the back of the hymnal for numbers 361 and for numbers 123 as our hymns. Right now, I invite you to please stand or rise in body and or spirit as we sing our opening song, number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
And at this time, I'd like to ask Giovanni Diotto to come forward to light our chalice. And as he does so, if you would please repeat the words that are in your order of service. As we light this flame of hope, may our congregation become a kaleidoscope of souls and people. In the presence of this flame, in me, in you, in us, is an invitation to sit at the table. May we tend our soul fire through these challenging and trying times to open the hearts and minds of all who enter our doors.
Good morning, good morning. It's a cute little sign up here. It says, turn on microphone. That's a new thing. We sing all the time, don't be afraid of some change. And so there's a nice new, brightly lit one to remind me. But Ed has me, so I am glad. I'm looking, I'm saying, where is everybody? And then I realize, I think some of our snowbirds have gone home. I already missed them. But we must go on. So at this time, we have our joys, sorrows, and gratitudes. And I'm sure many of you have a lot to share. So I'm stepping over here and invite you to come and share joys, sorrows, and gratitudes this morning. Feel free. Okay, there's your mic. Joyce.
Good morning. I'm going to light
The microphone.
going to light a candle for Jeannie Ezell. We're holding her memorial service on Saturday at 1 p.m. Jeannie was a very important part of our congregation for many years. She served as secretary from 2013 to 2017 on our board, and she was probably the most gracious person I've ever known. You know, there's kind of this idea of the Southern grace, and she just exemplified that grace in a way, way beyond anyone I've ever known. So I hope you'll join us in celebrating the life of Jeannie on Saturday.
That'll be at 1 p.m. that we'll be celebrating her life celebration. Okay. There you go. Judy. Good morning.
Hello, I'm Judy, Alberta. I have a sorrow. My husband's mother passed away on Thursday in Michigan at 88 of natural causes. So I just want to light a candle for her.
What's her name?
Oh, her name is Jeanette Roos.
We hold your husband and Jeanette and her whole family in our hearts at this time. Carol.
Hi, my name's Carol Latino, and I have a sorrow. My neighbor passed away about a week ago. I don't know whether it's a sorrow or a joy because he was pretty bad, so he's much better now.
His name was Mike Marlowe, and we believe deeply that he is in a much better place now, and he did suffer. We hold him and his family in our hearts. Oh, here we go. I think Linda has something big to tell us.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, this is important. Before I start my little spiel here, kaleidoscope. How many people have ever held a kaleidoscope? Well, more than we're a good community then. It's a wonderful gadget. I haven't seen one in years, but anyhow, they were fun. How many of you were here last Sunday? Oh, good, thank you. Excuse me. The subject last Sunday was, do you remember what we talked about last week?
Mm-hmm.
Come on now. we talked about Earth Day and how important Mother Earth is for all of us. So, you in the back can't see this. It's a picture of an Indian with a tear. Back in the 1970s, this image was prevalent in our society. This gentleman was miserable because we were disgracing our earth. We don't want to do that. So what has this got to do with it? Well, would you hold this for me, please? Who knew I could be coordinated? Oh, it's coming off. This is a bag for collecting trash. I created 12 of them there in that back room. Take one. If you don't get one, create one and keep it in your car. And when you go someplace, there's going to be trash everywhere. I'm sick of looking at it. You are too. But if you don't pick it up and put it somewhere, trash collector, then you're not, I'm not going to say you're not. It would be better for the earth if you were to pick stuff up and put it in trash. Thank you for your time.
I'm going to light a candle for that. And we need to be conscientious. It's just like walking down the road and you see that thing. I used to do some little teaching with children. And when it was snack time, I would often notice that I would give them a little snack and papers would just magically appear on the floor, even though the trash can was nearby. And I often think about that. We have to start teaching them early. So let us remember. You see it there, pick it up. Thank you, Linda, for reminding us that everything counts. Thank you. Joan.
I'm Joan Marshall, and today is the anniversary of my husband's passing, which was in 2007, and I deeply regret that he never got to experience All Faiths. I was introduced to All Faiths not long after his death by David Howenstein, and today I was visiting with Ed Elrod, whose wife, Carol, is in hospice now. My husband was in hospice for several weeks, and it is an incredible experience. They are doing remarkable things with the families, supporting the families of those who are passing soon. And I just wanted to remember my husband and the wonderful 45 years that we had together on this, the anniversary of his death. Thank you. His name was David Marshall.
We remember David in our hearts, knowing that we are never really separated from each other. Michelle.
Hi, Michelle Gemma. Joy, sometimes I think, where am I living? I'm like, seriously. But past few nights, my husband and I went to the theater, and I just wanted to say how lucky we are here to have such beautiful theater. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you're down, just buy a ticket and go to the theater, and that will take care of it. Thank you for the suggestion of Godspell. Go see it. Awesome. In Hamilton, of course.
For date night.
Yes.
Lighting a candle for date night. It could be a date night with your friends, too. It doesn't have to be your partner. Joyce. Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Joyce Schaefer. I'm saying gratitude to this congregation for McGregor Clinic. You just overdid it. My car was just bulging with things, and they're so grateful. If you could be there and see how happy they are when they get it, and they just can't believe it. Thank you for all your donations, and they really need it, and they really appreciate it. It's a good cause.
McGregor Clinic and the love in our hearts that we share when we give. They're a little stubborn this morning. There you go. I'll take it. Frank, I think you're up.
Hi, my name is Frank Geltner, and I'm just lighting a candle for Nicole. Many of you always ask, well, where's Nicole? Well, she's dealing with a debilitating something, and she sees a specialist on Wednesday, so we hope for the best. Would you light it for me?
I will.
Thank you.
You're welcome. For Nicole, this debilitating illness or whatever it is will cease and leave her. And I'll light this final candle. Make sure no one else is there. And I'll light this last candle for all of you who may have joy, sorrows, and gratitudes in your heart that haven't come up today. And also for those who are with us live stream. I light this candle for you in your presence. And thank you that you are visiting with us today.
At this time, I'd like to ask everyone to relax in their seats, put your feet on the floor, close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath, and let us contemplate today's service and our blessings. And now, if you would please rise and embody your spirit as we sing hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. And the words are in the back of your order of service.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in your hands, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Our opening words for today. It's called, Come Sit by Our Fire. Come sit by our fire and let us share stories. Let me hear your tales of far-off lands, wanderer, and I will tell you my travels. Share your experience of the holy with me, worshiper, and I will tell you of that which I find divine. Come and stay, lover of leaving, for ours is no caravan of despair, but of hope. We would hear your stories of grief and sorrow as readily as those of joy and laughter, for there is a time and a place and a hearing for all the stories of this world. Stories are the breath and word of the Spirit of life, their power that we name love. Come, for our fire is warm, and we have seats for all. Come again and yet again. Come, speak to me of what fills your heart, what engages your mind, what resides in your soul. Come, let us worship together. Oh. Well, usually about this time there's some music playing. But there is not any music playing for the prelude at this moment.
It's getting a drink.
But I think it will start up right now. See how we handle that? Very well. Yes, it's okay to laugh. Sometimes things happen. Oh. Okay. Where is he? Yes, that's where he is. Okay. Prelude. I don't see a song.
Bluetooth connected.
Today's reading is called Our Sacred Fire. People have always known that fire was special. Long, long ago, before people made matches or candles or even made homes, people knew that fire was special. There was a great fire in the sky, the sun, which made the earth warm and made the night into day. And there were smaller fires that people made, fires that cooked their food and kept them warm and brought them light. People honored fires because fire was special. Fire was more than human. Fire has power. It can create and it can destroy. It can bring light and it can burn. It can create and it can destroy. We have to be careful with fire. And so people thought that fire was something sacred and holy. Some people even worshiped fire and said that fire was a deity, like a goddess or a god. Other people said fire wasn't actually the deity, but just meant that the deity was there. No matter what they believe, people all over the world gave fire a special place in their religions. They had fires in their homes, of course, to cook food and keep warm, and they also had sacred fires in their temples. They set sacred lamps on their altars. They lit sacred bonfires outside on the hilltops and in the groves. They placed sacred torches near the graves of those who died, and we still do that today. In Washington, D.C., near the tomb of the unknown soldier, burns an eternal flame that never goes out. In churches at Christmas time, and many Christians light 4 candles on an Advent wreath. During the 8 days of Hanukkah, Jews light the 8 candles of the menorah. And at Diwali, Hindus set small lamp fires around the house. And when Unitarian Universalists gather, we light a candle. This is our sacred fire. And now if you would please rise in body or spirit as we sing the hymn, There's No Number, We Shall Be Known. Where is it? Oh, that's a duet. No one told me.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now. time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
It is time now. Beautiful, beautiful. You see this talent that we have? Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Carlos. CNC. Couldn't have planned it better. That was really nice. Thank you, thank you. Well, if you haven't figured out by now, my name is Alberita Johnson. Most people around here call me Albie, and I'm known as the minister, so I self-introduce to you. Good morning again, all faiths. Now, I don't know about you all, but I think spring has sprung and moved on, and summer is moving in really fast. We are finishing up the month of April, during which time we considered our theme of interdependence. We now look to the month of May, and our theme is pluralism. So this morning I thought I would stir it up a little bit and combine the two. We'll see how you like that by the end. We'll mix our interdependence on Mother Earth with the pluralistic concept of our Unitarian Universalist faith. And we're going to talk about one of our more broader traditions that we refer to as earth-centered spirituality. We will hear the words of Starhawk as she shares a grounding meditation and talk about fire. You know, this is the time of year when many return to the north. And I'm not only talking about our snowbirds, the people, but I'm also talking about other mammals and animals and winged birds and such. They're leaving for the north for the summer. Usually around this time of year when it occurs, and we start to notice here in Southwest Florida that maybe traffic is flowing a little better, it's not so many people, the lines are not as long. But I don't know about y'all. I've been noticing traffic is continuing. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but people are tending to stay. Well, something else happens around this time of year also, and it just so happens to be almost today. It coincides with the Celtic tradition that is called Beltane. Now, years ago, I was introduced to a guided meditation that changed my relationship to the earth, to Mother Earth. And I think it has something to do with this Beltane. Not only did it change my relationship to Mother Earth, but it changed my relationships to the four elements that we need so desperately. Obviously, the earth is one of them. Water, air, and fire are the other three. And since then, I've heard and even shared this meditation numerous times, and it's always had a profound effect on me. The first time that I heard it, I was outdoors around a fire that was called Sacred. I'm like, okay, I'm here. It was a large group of us. It was a whole bunch of people around. I think it was a Renaissance something. But we had prepared a fire. We put chairs around the fire. We had drums. We started to sing songs and chants and gleefully stared up at the moon. It was a full moon that night. Some of us even howled at the moon like a wolf. I was like, all right, this is some kind of party I'm at. People wore various kinds of garb that depicted a different age, a different period of times past. Some had capes and staffs and rope belts with a little knife stuck on the side. There were children running around, and women and girls had flowers in their hair. It was a family affair. It was good. I can recall earlier that day that I participated in a maypole dance. I had put flowers in my hair for the maypole dance, and it was a lot of fun as we all, adults and children alike, tried not to get all tangled up while we were going up and down and around the maypole with our flowers and our streamers and all. And we made it. It was beautiful when we were done. Took a little longer. I'm sure some people probably drank a little beer or wine or something, so it was a lot of giggling, but we had a good time. There was food, there was drink. It was marvelous, family and friends. And I found out that this celebration I was at was called Beltane. I'm like, okay, I'm in here now. Beltane, that's a new word. Well, of course, after it was all over, and I had a chance to go home, I thought, you know what, Albie? You need to learn a little bit more about this Beltane. It started sounding scary. I was like, Bal, is that something from the Bible we should be afraid of? All of this kind of stuff was going through my mind. Of course, while I was there, I was having a great time. But in the back of my mind, I was like, is Jesus going to get me? I don't know. But I didn't run off. I stayed. So I went home. I did a little research. This is what I found out. Beltane is a Gaelic May Day festival marking the beginning of summer. It is traditionally held on the 1st of May, or about midway between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. Historically, it was widely observed in Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. Beltane is one of the 4 main Celtic seasonal festivals. I was like, oh, it's 4 of them. The first one, we are very familiar with it. We like to call it Halloween, but actually it's the end of Halloween and the beginning of November, and the Celtics called it Samhain. We celebrate that on November 1st, kind of like the Day of the Dead. And that's held between the fall equinox and the winter solstice. And then another one was Invoke, and this one was held between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. I would get all uptight every time I heard about Invoke because it was so close to my birthday. And I kept thinking, why are these holidays sneaking up and taking my birthday? Who said they can do that? Even the Super Bowl just rolled up, and next thing you know, it became a Super Bowl. So hold on. But anyway, the last one is Litha, and that is the one, August 1st, between the summer solstice and the fall equinox. So we have 4 of them. So we have our regular 4 seasons, and then these 4 are between the seasons. So Beltane, again, is held on the 1st of May, on or about midway between the spring equinox and summer solstice. And it marks the beginning of the pastoral summer season when livestock was driven out to the summer pastures. And back in the day, way back in the day, rituals were held at that time to protect them from harm, both natural and supernatural. And this mainly involved the symbolic use of fire. There were also rituals to protect crops, dairy products, people, and to encourage growth. Spirits or fairies were thought to be especially active around Beltane, just like they were around Samhain. So let me tell you about this. It is believed that during this time, the veil between life and death is very thin. So this is why people think that you should wear costumes and run around, because the spirits and the fairies might come and get you and scare you to death. So put on your costumes and maybe you can fool them too. Anyway, because of the goal of Beltane and Samhain, these rituals were also designed to appease these spirits and fairies. Again, it is a springtime festival, and it's a festival of optimism and fertility. And fertility rituals were a very important part of the ceremonies. These rituals not only depicted the fertility of the earth, but the people who celebrated in ritual and in merriment, they too would tempt the hands of fate. And the Beltane fires of passion were ritualized. As a result, there are neo-pagans, new pagans, who continue to link June weddings to what is called Beltane fires, or the fires of Beltane. They believed that back many, many, many years ago, and some people still believe it. Because if you were enacting a fertility ritual around May, guess what you would discover around June? Right? So maybe there's some truth to that. We can definitely thank the neo-pagan renaissance of the 20th century for the return and growth of paganism, earth-centered spiritualities, particularly in the Western world, even up to today. You see, we humankind and Mother Earth, we have a very special kind of kinship with fire. In many ways, we physically and spiritually mirror the effects of fire. I'll give you two examples. First one, we experience a burning sensation in the body. How do we experience that? Don't go with the fertility. I know you ran there, but no, we're going to pull back, and we're going to go with maybe hot sauce. Maybe something is hot. You put it in there, you eat it, you get this burning in your mouth and in your throat. So we actually have a physical burning within us. Then we can go to the one we just ran off to, which is that deep desire, that passion, that heat for something or someone. And it includes all of us. Our physicality gets all involved. Emotionally, we get involved. And spiritually, we become involved. It's a burning desire, wants, needs, strong and passionate heat, almost like a fever. And guess what? We erupt. Yeah, I said it. According to the Smithsonian, wherever humans have gone in the world, they have carried with them two things, language and fire. It further states that Darwin himself considered these two things the most significant achievements of humanity. Language, form of communication, and fire. Fire. Keep us warm, gives us light, cooks our food, and invokes our passions. I'm going to ask you to imagine with me, if you will, living within a pagan culture, living rural, rustic, mostly civilian lives. It's the 4th century, and you practice polytheism, or some other ethnic religion other than Judaism and Christianity. There's some alternative terms that are being used to describe you. You are a Gentile. You are a heathen. You don't care about that, because rituals are a regular and normal part of your life and tribe, and sometimes include sacrifices. It's the 4th century. You're aware that paganism is considered a religion of peasants. That doesn't bother you either. It is your life. Well, today is April 28th, and 3 days from now is Beltane, May 1st. And many people will celebrate with fire and reenact rituals of old, similar to the one that I attended several years ago. Now, at that time, as I said, I didn't fully comprehend what was going on, and if there were any spiritual beliefs or benefits at all. I was just trying to figure out, am I going to go to hell? I know it sounds strange, but that's where I was. But I wanted to know, am I going to gain from this experience and ritual? And eventually I did. I came to understand a few things. I came to understand there is a deep entanglement in my relationship physically and spiritually with and to Mother Earth, and that there are people who practice earth-centered spirituality, including indigenous people who are spread all over the globe and are often considered pagan and tribal, even to this day. I also came to understand that the human population will continue to migrate, as we have always done, and the West will inevitably become exposed to traditions and practices of those who are migrating, because they bring with them their beliefs, their traditions, their spiritual beliefs, their idols, and yes, their tribal practices. So it is in this light this morning that I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about fire and ritual. I'm going to get a little deeper here. Fire is one of the most revered elements in ritual, particularly pagan rituals, and fire is also within the earth herself. In fact, there's a river of fire. Yeah, we are on it, and there's a river of fire under our feet. Well, not so close to our feet. Actually, it's located halfway down from the surface of the earth, and that's 2,800 kilometers or 1,800 miles down. Now, this is the core of our planet, which actually has two layers, this core, an outer core and an inner core. The river is the outer core, which will be our focus today. 1,800 miles below the surface of the earth, we will find this outer core. That's about twice the number of miles the United States is from Australia, to give you an idea how deep it is. The hot temperature at the core is an average of 1,400 to 2,100 degrees Fahrenheit. Very, very hot. And when this heat is expelled from the interior of the earth onto its surface, we call it lava, molten rock, and magma. It can flow great distances before cooling, that then causes it to solidify. So it's going along, this big hot fire, and now it's getting cool, and it looks like it's solid. And we think, okay, it's getting solid, yes. But what we need to know is that when the lava is exposed to air, it quickly develops a solid crust. In turn, it begins to insulate that liquid lava underneath it. And that helps it to keep hot enough to keep flowing. So we think it's solid, and it is. But underneath, there's a hot flow continuing. And this hot flow that keeps going is what gives us more land mass. You see? Helping to keep it hot enough, it continues flowing, thus creating more land mass in its wake. This is how an erupting volcano underwater effectively builds upon itself and eventually creates enough mass to become a landmass and become a place that we call Hawaii. Oh, some people. I learned about that. That's regenerating power of fire. The river of fire, in my opinion, is nothing less than miraculous. Is there any wonder why humankind has been so entangled with fire? Do you know research indicates that ancient humans actually carried a little flame around because to be without it was far too great a risk. Even now in this 21st century, particularly here in Southwest Florida, it was not long ago that we were extremely grateful for a little flame of a candle, for the spark that lit our generators, for the power to just charge our cell phones. We remember, Ian, we had all our candles and we finally pulled them out and had to use them. We tried to go and get generators, but we needed that spark. We needed some oil. We needed something that was going to keep that fire burning. So as I pondered more about fire and the river at the core in relation to Mother Earth, I came to realize that this river, this flow of Mother Earth was and is indeed a lifeblood of energy for her, for Mother Earth. I began to equate her flow with the flow of a woman and its regenerating power, and how when mixed with water, that flow is a fertilizer. And recently I learned that the indigenous peoples, particularly in Guatemala, are so aware of this that they mix that life flow with water, pour it in the garden, and becomes fertilizer. Speaking of regeneration here, speaking of regeneration, I began to understand that this river, this fire, is an energetic flow. It has life and energy within it. It is consuming and regenerative. It's a force of life, just as the blood that flows through our veins. Yes, our physicality also burns oh so very deeply with desire that we describe it as hot, as fire. Yes, we have fire at our core, but we burn for each other, and we consume each other. when we become one with another person, intimately generating and regenerating in our love with our bodies, even creating life itself. Well, there was a highlight of the Beltane Festival of Fire, and that was the reaffirming belief of fire as sacred to life and the acts of ritual to express that sacredness. If you can recall, Linda let us know, last week we talked about Mother Earth. We celebrated Earth Day, and we sang, "The earth is our mother, she will take care of us." Not because we perceive her as a goddess or a deity, although some of us may, but because we know and understand the symbolic, the symbiotic relationship we have with her. We and Mother Earth are interdependent. And she indeed mothers us, never holding back. So let us never cease to look after her. My friends, the earth is our mother. We will take care of her as she's taking care of us. See, we're used to it. Earth is our mother. She will take care of us. But the earth is our mother. We will take care of her. It's the response. So I opened up sharing about a grounding meditation that I experienced many years ago. And I thought a lot about this. How do I share this grounding meditation without boring everybody? Should I say it? Suppose I don't do it well. And I so would like to share what that experience was like, because for the first time to me, I have already told you what it was like, and I was just so, oh, what's going on? And it was like I was taking in a whole lot all at one time. But that meditation kind of slowed me down, and it gave me a chance to understand how I can tap into that great fire, that great flow that we stand on, walk on, live on, breathe on, have our being on. That fire that flows under our feet. So, I want to share it with you. It is written by Starhawk, an American feminist and author known as the theorist of feminist neo-paganism and ecofeminism. And in 2013, she was listed in Watkins' Mind, Body, Spirit magazine as one of the 100 most influential spiritually living people. She considers and refers to herself as a neo-pagan witch. Don't get scared. And this meditation is in her book called The Spiral Dance. And as with any guided meditation, the words may not speak to you, and that is all right. We simply ask for your patience as we hear and experience Starhawk's grounding meditation in her own words. Starhawk herself. No, she's not going to pop out from somewhere and do something witchy. I'm just going to play a recording. But before I play it, I want to let you know that she's going to share a little bit in the beginning, like a little introduction, about a minute or so. And then she'll go into the meditation. It's about 4 minutes. And then after that, I'm going to come back up here and wrap it up, and we'll be done. So if you could just bear with me a few more moments and hear this, I think that you may also experience a tremendous blessing as I did. Carlos.
So I'd like to begin now with a meditation that is probably our basic magical practice. If you want to practice the craft, if you want to be a witch, it's important to have a personal practice, something that you do every day. In some traditions, there's meditation that you do, or there's a particular prayer that you do. In Wicca, we encourage people to find the practice that works for them. But this, for me, is the basic thing that I do every day, and that I find especially useful in dangerous or tense situations. And it's called grounding. And basically what it is connecting your energies to the energies of the earth. So sit, stand, be comfortable for a moment, and just notice how you're breathing. Notice how your body feels. Start to notice how aware or unaware you are of your surroundings or the people that you're with. And now consciously plant your feet on the ground and take a deep breath. As you breathe, really focus on bringing that breath down into your belly, letting your belly expand, letting your knees be loose, letting your body be balanced. And just take a moment and notice how that breath feels in your body. If you're tense, if you're worried, if you're anxious, you can imagine just letting go of all of that with your breath. And feel your feet on the ground. And just know that being aware of your feet on the ground, aware of that connection, aware of your breath, can help bring you into a state of calm, a state of awareness where you can stop and make a choice about what you want to do. Now, as you breathe, imagine that those roots can push down through the floor, through the soil, through whatever you're standing on, down into the earth. That in fact they can tell you something about the quality of the earth where you stand. You can let them push down through all those layers below you, down into the waters that pool underneath the earth, and let them bathe in those cool waters. Let them push down through layers of rock, all the way down into that fire at the heart of the earth. And as you breathe, feel that fire, that living molten rock is part of the earth's body. It's like her lifeblood circulating below us. And in fact, it's her lifeblood that's still hot with that moment of creation in which the earth was born. It's that great creative fire that builds new lands. If there's something you want to release or let go of, take a breath and let it go down into that fire. And let that fire just take it away, transform it back into pure energy. And then with the breath, you can draw some of that energy up through your roots. Draw it up through the rock and up through the water. Draw it up through the soil and up into the soles of your feet. Draw it up through your legs and up into the base of your spine. Draw it up into your belly. And as you breathe, feel your spine as if it were the trunk of a tree, growing and stretching like a sapling, reaching up to the sun, becoming flexible. As that energy rises, you might find that it releases some tension, and it warms some place that needs healing. Draw it up into your heart and let yourself feel for a moment what it's like to be centered in your heart. And draw it up through your neck and throat. Draw it up into your third eye in the center of your forehead and let that open just as much as is comfortable for you right now. Draw it up through the crown of your head and out like branches that reach up into the sky and sweep back down around you and touch the earth again. So they make a circle. They make an energy circuit. And you can feel the sunlight on those leaves and branches. And you can draw that sunlight in and draw it down. All the way down through the top of your head, your heart, your belly. All the way down through your roots into the earth. So you can stand for a moment and feel how you're balanced between earth and sky, running the earth energy up through you, drawing the sky energy down. Letting that lovely sphere of branches and leaves that surround you be like a filter that can protect you, that can filter out any energies you don't want to come in. And now as you breathe, if you've closed your eyes, open your eyes. Let yourself be aware that you can be grounded, you can be in this state of awareness and still have your eyes open. It's about being present in the world. So notice what you take in and how much information you can take in. And as you breathe, as you open your eyes, as you look around you, know that you can also move and be grounded. You don't have to be stuck or static. You can participate in the dynamic, changing universe. So as you breathe, take some steps. Imagine that with each step, You can kind of feel those feet growing roots that sink into the earth. You can feel that contact, that connection with Mother Earth. And just take some time now, move through the space where you're in, and notice how it feels to walk through it. Present, grounded, aware, calm, centered, and open.
Interesting. Starhawk took us on a short journey to the core of Mother Earth. And we know that's her energetic fire. She encouraged us to pull that energy up through our own feet and just imagine feeling that type of energy come all the way up through your heart, the top of your head opening, and you are like a tree now with these wonderful branches of energy and light. And she taught us to pull it down. How about those two meeting, the sky and the earth, just meeting right in between you? You see, it's a strange thing about meditation, particularly guided meditation. Some people follow, some people don't, some people don't care for it. But it's all good. As long as you take a moment to sit in silence, to breathe, and to be aware. It is a gift to yourself. So don't shun. Experience. As we've journeyed with Starhawk today to this core, I want to encourage you all, if you don't have a daily practice of meditation or reading or sitting quietly, reading your spiritual books or hearing something that's going to encourage you and help you to start your day, I encourage you to do so. Also, a meditation like this, sometimes when I'm feeling a little tensed and stressed, maybe even at a traffic light and I'm trying to hurry up and I want that car to really move, you can make it through that yellow light and I'm going to go with you. But I understand that even in those instances, stress, tension, rushing about, that just for a moment, if you get into a practice of discipline, a spiritual discipline, you can easily say, okay, branches out and around, surround me. There's something I learned from my sister-in-law, and it's, and make sure I got this right, a circle of light, a circle of love, a circle around me, below, and above. Sometimes when I get real scared or nervous or whatever, and I'm going to walk down, I'm going to be in a particular specific place, or I'm going to speak someplace I haven't spoke before, I don't know the people well, I repeat just that really quickly. Circle of light, a circle of love, a circle around me, below and above. Quick meditation, quick grounding. And somehow, I guess you could think in my childlike mind that we all still have in there, I picture myself like in a little protective bubble, and there's a bubble around me, and I'm protected. And now I can go forth and I can do what I have to do. Or this bubble is protecting me, and I can now let this tension and stress out, but the bubble is there to keep me. And so I encourage you, find something that helps you to be grounded, to know that, yeah, there is a greater, but there's also a you. And rest in that place. I think that's what she was trying to help us to do, to learn how to rest in the place of peace, even in the midst of a fire. So, if it is okay with you, if you do have a practice, continue. If you started a practice and stopped, it's okay to begin again. And if you don't have a practice, maybe you can start one, as I've shared. I personally incorporated grounding discipline in my life. I have found it to be extremely beneficial. Maybe you will too. Amen and Ashe. Now, that song can be the joke. Come on, baby, light my fire. Thank you, Carlos. Well, it's time where we can all participate, and this is the time to give an offering. We need it. It helps us to continue on with what we have to do week after week, day after day. And because when we giggle and find something funny, it makes us more generous. So I'm going to give you a little joke. And since we've been talking about paganism and witches and all, this is a witch joke. Here we go. You got to be fast, though, because it's a quick one. A witch was flying on her broom when she noticed that all the witches she passed were flying on a vacuum cleaner. Vroom, vroom, what's going on, she thought to herself. Am I the only one who still drives a stick? Oh, we appreciate your generous donations to support our dedicated staff. Beautiful facilities, inspiring services, and interesting activities. Our social outreach here at All Faiths also. We invite our visitors and friends to place their completed visitor cards in the offertory baskets if you haven't already passed it on to someone. And if you are visiting with us, live stream, you can mail your checks or visit our website at allfaithsuu.org. Our offering will now be taken.
I'm a flame, you're the fire. I'm the dark in need of light. When we touch, you inspire. You're the change in me tonight. So take me up, take me higher. There's a world not far from here. We can dance in desire, or we can burn in love tonight. Our hearts are like firestone, but when they strike, we feel the love. Sparks of light ignite our bones, and when they strike, we light up the world. Our hearts are like firestone, but when they strike, we feel the love. Sparks of love ignite our bones, but when they strike, we light up the world. We light up the world. We light up the world. Oh, firestone. I'm from X, you're from Y. Perfect strangers in the night. Here we are, come together. To the world we'll testify. Our hearts are like firestone, but when they strike, we feel the love. Sparks of light ignite our bones, but when they strike, we light up the world. Our hearts are like firestone, but when they strike, we feel the love. Sparks of light ignite our bones, and when they strike, we light up the world. We light up the world.
Our closing words for today. We leave blessed by our connections to one another, to the spirit of life. Walk lightly that you see the life that is below your feet. Spread your arms as if you had wings and can dance through the air. Feel the joy of the breath in your lungs and the fire in your heart. Live to love and be a blessing on this earth. May it be so. Okay.
We all will turn to number 1028. The choir will help us sing the song, The Fire of Commitment. 1028 in your blue teal books.
It was interesting. Very interesting.
From the fire days remembered, burns a
Beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way. When we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living, brings a song of brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of beautiful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion needs to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Well, that was a great song to end on, wasn't it? We'd like to thank you all for being here today, and we thank Alberita for her inspirational messages, and Carlos and the choir for their gift of music. Thank you for sharing that with us today. It's good to be connected in any way we can. And at this time, I'd like to ask Giovanni to come to extinguish our flame. And as he comes forward, please recite the closing words that are in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. And now we have a treat, but before the treat, The treat is the ice cream, because you know we always have ice cream on the last Sunday of the month.
Yay!
But before you do that, our new board president, Frank Geltner, will present us with the Life of the Congregation report. And we do this once a month so that you know what's going on around here, in case you don't read the newsletter. There's a backup. There's a backup.
This one on? Okay.